Oh my God. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the show. I am a human being, okay? And I'm tired of the bullshit. Guys, I hope you have
a crystal flute
for this episode because we are going to look at some real stuff.
Bullshit.
Guys, why is this area blank? On the news, this is supposed to have something. Please put something there. No.
Guys, I'm not a baby.
Well, anyway, guys, there's a dude who we like to check in on. Check in on. Yes, that is correct. On this channel. His name's Jordan James Steederston. Jordan James Queterman. And he's, I don't know really what he does, to be honest, but he does upload some funny content. And this one's interesting because it's talking about a topic that's very important. Talking about a topic that's very important to a lot of young people, which is manliness. Okay, and being a badass man who takes no bullshit from any goddamn piece of shit. There's all these channels like Fresh and Fit and what's the other one? Andrew Tate, all this crap. Young people are very concerned with being manly and oiled and slippery. So if the cops, I guess, try to get you, you slip away because you're oiled.
Okay. Dead.
Every single person on this planet is gay.
Hello, everyone.
Whoa, Jesus.
Today I'm speaking once again with constitutional lawyer, Missouri Senator, and best-selling author Josh Hawley.
Okay.
We discuss his new book, Manhood,
Whoa.
exploring the structural significance of biblical tradition within people's lives, how those enduring narratives elevate us above human defaults such as tyranny and slavery,
Thank God.
why self-mastery is the precondition.
Hold on, I gotta get on Amazon right now, order that. Hell yes, brother. That's right. We got Josh Hawley. He's some kind of a government guy. I don't know what he does. I don't know what he does all day.
He's involved in governmentals of some kind.
And he is going to teach our asses how to be manly. Thank God. Okay? Who better to teach our asses how to be tough, strong. I call them Tom of Finland type characters. Tough, strong, dress like bikers, dress like Navy guys. Tough. Okay? Who better to teach us this than a guy who looks like the manager of a 90s boy band? Walking around the mall. Hey, can you sing? Hey, can you sing? Let's start out with Jordy. Poor old Jordy Peterson. I don't know what's going on with him. But check the title of his book. He's writing a book. Check the title. Check this out.
Yeah. So I'm writing this book called We Who Wrestle with God. And
Wait a second. Wait. We Who Wrestle with God. Okay, all right. I don't want to give... Jordy's an old man. I don't want to give him too much of a hassle here, but it's a little grandiose of a title for your book, coming from a guy who reposts crap on Twitter all day. Reposting crap from a YouTube all day on Twitter. We Who Wrestle with God. Oh, my new book is called Riding with Odin on a Crystal Horse Through the Halls of Valhalla.
Ooh, really? What's it about?
Oh, it's about how I repost memes on Facebook all day, laying on my couch.
The phone drops on my face often.
Because I'm laying down when I'm posting it, and drool gets on the phone many of the time. I'm writing a book. It's called A Sword Forged in Fire Through the Heart of a Demon. Ooh, wow. What's that about? It's about how I get pissed off at videos I see on YouTube. There is one guy who can write books with titles like that. Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog can do that, okay? His new book is called, what is it called? Every Man for Himself and God Against Everyone. That is the perfect Werner Herzog book title. I will get that book when it comes out. Werner Herzog, he's like the one guy who can do that. Jordy Peterson, you're goofing around on Twitter all day,
So now you're
down,
writing
Jordy.
a book here that's not primarily political.
Right.
No, and yet right. You're operating in the political realm. And so how do you experience the tension between those two? And how do you believe that we could bridge the gap between the motivational, let's say, and the narrative?
Spit it out, Jordy.
The sacred,
yeah,
fundamentally,
okay,
and the political.
Got it.
How do you manage to do that in your own life? Or do you? And how do you fall short?
Good, great question. I think that...
Okay, quick note here. This camera setup is pretty distracting. You know what I mean? Why did they choose to do this? I watched this whole interview, and the whole time I was thinking we're going to hear ding, 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 dong.
One of the reasons I wrote the book, and you're right, it's really not a political book at all, but my conviction is that we have in our culture, and particularly on the left, but also some on the right, we've lost sense of and we've lost touch with our most foundational moral intuitions and moral foundations. And that's why I go back to the Bible and the book, and I make the case early on that that's in the Bible. The biblical tradition is in many ways the foundational story and narrative of the entire Western tradition, certainly the American tradition. So I think that we live in a world, and this is true for young men in particular, where there's no story, there's no narrative.
Oh my God.
What is it that it means to be a man? There's no narrative there. Right. What is it that I'm supposed to do with my life? There's no narrative. So I think...
what does it mean to be a man, and what does it mean to be...
adult baby.
Look, guys, every one of us in our lives, we've done some bitch-ass motherfucker shit, okay? In our lives at times, okay? Someone says, hey, we're going to kick your ass. And then we run away, leaving our newborn baby there in a stroller to fend for himself. And we say, oh, hey, baby, I'll call 911 when I get home. We've all done bitch-ass things like that, okay? We've all done it. We've all done cowardly things, you know what I mean? But luckily, the cowardly things we've done in our life, most of us, they're not caught on video, That's not the case for Josh Hawley. That's not the case for Josh Hawley.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley was also a part of tonight's hearing. You may remember this image from January 6th. Hawley outside the Capitol, fist in the air in support of crowds gathered outside. But tonight, new video showing Hawley running inside the Capitol as rioters were storming the building. A Capitol police officer says Hawley raising his fist bothered her greatly. She says Hawley riled up the crowd while he was protected in a safe place.
The guy who's writing a book on how to be a tough man, he is literally caught on video being a bitch-ass motherfucker. It's not that tough. It's not that tough. And most importantly, it was caught on camera. So if you're going to be a coward, try to avoid video cameras. Okay, so a little bit of a fail on the manly side of things. Let's see. They go into a long thing about historical crap. Let's see if there's anything there. Here we go.
And something else, and it just doesn't work. I mean, we've had centuries of experiment with it, right? I mean, we've seen it. It doesn't work. I mean, what the French Revolution quickly ends up with, of course, historically, is they're all killing one another because it becomes purely a power play. Yeah. I mean, it's who has the power.
Oh my God. I don't know how 150,000 people watch this in one day and they're like, oh, I really got something out of this. Because this is an insufferable interview. But they go on and on and on about the French Revolution and what it sounds like they're saying. Okay. What it sounds like they're saying is, the French Revolution, they weren't religious. Like, it wasn't religious based, this revolution. So it was bloody, it was violent, and it was a struggle for power. You know what I mean? That's messed up, That seems to be what they're saying. It's hard to make out what they're trying to say, but it does sound like they're saying, like, if you're not religious, if you don't have religion, then historically we could see from the French Revolution that just becomes a violent struggle for power. If these guys are really interested in history, maybe somebody more knowledgeable than a moron like me could maybe turn them on to like what was going on around the Reformation with Marty Luther. I don't know if you guys read about this. You guys hear about this? Go into a Jay Leno thing. You guys hear about this?
The Reformation?
It's basically exactly what they're describing. It was like Marty Luther, he was like the church sucks or whatever. The church sucks, it's corrupt or whatever whatever that guy was saying. And then some other crap happened. That eventually sparked a totally religious-based peasant revolt against, basically like the wealthy and landowners and stuff. People were getting their heads cut off, tons of violence, 100,000 people died, bop. So I'm not saying these guys don't know what the hell they're talking about, but I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
A little bit in your book about pornography. This is a cool thing. The other thing I found out when I was investigating this Tower of Babel story.
Jordy, your mic.
Babel is associated. You detailed out what your understanding of what pornography is doing on the masculine front. So maybe we could delve into that momentarily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you just look at the data on this, Jordan, I mean, the consumption of pornography, of course, is, as you would expect, given its availability everywhere, is just off the...
I'm going to say right off the bat, this guy does not seem like a guy who secretly watches probably the weirdest porn ever. Yeah, I mean, definitely doesn't seem like
charts. One researcher quipped, and it's absolutely true, that a young man today can see more naked women in 5 minutes than his, or heck, probably 90 seconds than his
women are throwing themselves at me.
grandfather could in a lifetime.
Oh.
So that's technology has made that available. And
that
as
poor
you might
grandfather.
expect,
That poor. And that grandfather spends every day pissed off about it. Okay, sorry.
the dopamine effects here,
Yes.
the more porn men watch, especially young men, the more porn they want to watch. And then you ask, well, what happens over time? And what the data, there's an increasing body of data on this.
Oh,
What
I
it
bet
shows
there is,
is that you spend more time on screens, you spend less time in real human relationships.
Right.
So massive porn consumption
Right.
tends to inhibit dating.
Yes.
It tends to inhibit healthy self-image.
Oh.
For men, it tends to inhibit confidence, actually.
And then you're not going to believe what happens next in this interview. Jordy, he cracks open his laptop, and he's like, he goes to Pornhub, and he's like, this is bad, this is wrong, and they're watching it together. Okay, they're clearly very excited. Like, this is wrong, this is bad, right, Josh? Yeah. So I think I looked into this before for this channel. You know, the scourge of pornos, the scourge of on the internet, you know. I've looked into this before, and there's not a lot of good scientific evidence to, prove what they're saying. Porn addiction is actually pretty low. I think most young people also, they're like used to the internet, and they kind of know there's like, they've filed internet porn in their brain in a way that they know it's like not real or whatever. But to these guys, it's a big deal for some reason. And there's an article in New York Magazine that actually I think did a pretty good job of describing what's going on here with this guy. From his position in the Senate, this guy Josh Hawley extols the value of blue-collar work for others. The decline of organized labor never factors into his analysis at all, nor was it likely to. To Hawley, pornography threatens men more than the rarefied economic interests he so diligently serves in the Senate. Challenging those interests requires courage that he lacks. Ooh, they got your ass, you son of a bitch, you. They got your ass with
A crystal flute.
That's exactly what's going on here. What are you going to do about porn? Are you going to ban porn? No, you're just going to tell people, hey, you should stop watching porn. Okay. I mean,
Then you have the bloody environmentalist, planet-worshipping Gaia sacrificers saying, well, if you do have any ambition, all you're doing is using it to rape the planet to all our eventual demise.
Okay.
It's no bloody wonder the boys drop out if that's the story that's being told them.
Yes, exactly. And that is the story. And it's interesting, Jordan, when you put all that together, so you've got the modern left who force feeds this to young men. But then when they get older, to come back to screens and porn, the left also tells them, though, spend your time on screens and porn. That's fine. In fact,
yeah, I don't know about that one. Does this ring true? The Jordarino is saying, if people just stop talking about climate change as much, then, people would be more ambitious, It's like, people are worried about the world is going to end, so they're just like, I just won't do anything. And, maybe there are some people who think that, but, I never really seen that. That doesn't really ring that true, Again, I think this is an area where, what's Herzog's book called again? Every Man for Himself and God Against Everyone, where he would be a little bit more useful about, like, what it takes to pursue some kind of creative crap. I have read things about, stuff that this moron, morons like this could actually do things to make people more ambitious. Like, I think a lot of people are just like, I want to do this thing. I want to do this thing, take a risk on some creative thing, but I don't want to lose my health insurance. I don't want to lose my health. That's a lot of people are just like not pursuing something that they know they should, some creative thing, because they don't want to lose their health insurance, I would focus on more of that, Oh, men, because porno. No, it's probably not porno. I mean, that's where the Herzogian, as I call it, crap is useful, of just like, look, any creative thing you're going to pursue is going to be a nightmare a lot of the time. Following through with any creative project or any positive thing is going to be an uphill battle against God. But, you know, if you live in a situation where you take some of that risk away, probably more people are going to take creative risks. You know, I don't know. That's just what I think. But I would definitely say I don't think the problem of some people, you know, not doing creative pursuits or being ambitious or whatever is because of climate change talk and porno. I'm going to say I don't think those are the major causes.
I am what I am, which is, by the way, what God says to Moses. I am what I am, moment to moment.
Okay.
And why do you have no right to interfere with that? Because I want to be allowed to do whatever the hell I want to whoever I want at any given moment. Like with no thought whatsoever, even for my own preservation. You know, and I think we see that celebrated. We see that ethos celebrated in Pride season. And it's not fluke that it's called Pride season.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about this.
Jordy's really been on this thing. He thinks this is really clever. He puts this on Twitter all the time. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. It's pretty great if you're like 12 years old. You would be like, oh, wow, what a great point. Where he's like, Pride Month, you know, Pride Month. Well, didn't you know? Did you know? That's one of the 7 deadly sins is pride. Ooh, checkmate. Checkmate. You know, I mean, putting aside that this is a total misreading, even if you were looking at this religiously, it's just a stupid misreading of the entire thing. But it's also like you're talking about this. You just said this in the context of an interview where you're saying, men are oppressed. Men are oppressed. Men are oppressed and they need to self-actualize. Do you see a problem with this? Do you see a little contradiction here, you moron? You mush brain? You idiot? So these two
Perverts.
They strike me as a bit goofy. I will say that. But there's a bunch of funny reviews, takedowns, whatever you want to call it, of this guy's book. There's a really good one I would actually recommend reading on The Intercept, and the ending is really funny. The funniest part of all this is that Holly tells us that, quote, America's most urgent need politically is not for this or that piece of legislation. It is for men to embrace a call to character. So why is he a senator? A good point. By Holly's own estimation, he's the weakest, most unmanly man imaginable. His entire life is what he did on January 6th, succumbing to his own desire for power, running away as fast as possible from the consequences, and refusing to acknowledge any of it. Yeah, he does strike me as a bit of a little turd. He does strike me as a bit of
a crystal flute.
Come on. Okay, one more funny part from this article here. Holly's thesis is that America's men are in crisis, fathering children out of wedlock. They're doing this. Failing to get jobs, committing crimes, and playing video games. Why? The problem is Greek philosopher Epicurus and his modern descendants, liberals. Epicurus taught us, Holly summarizes, that the universe is neither planned nor orderly. Mankind should put the gods aside and focus on what really matters, which is, he said, pleasure, happiness. The trick was to arrange one's life and society in such a way to allow maximum choice for pursuing pleasure. And then the writer of this article notes, this is actually not at all what Epicurus said. He wrote that pleasure is the end, but emphasized the pleasure of, quote, living prudently and honorably and justly. But who cares, I guess. That is kind of the vibe of this guy. He's like, who cares? Who cares? But again, there is only one way to describe him, which is
a crystal flute.
What does that mean? Well, guys, there we go. A couple of goobers, but I think we can take a positive message from this episode of the beautiful program, which is, it is true, doing something creative, doing something positive can be very annoying at times. It can feel like every man for himself and God against everybody, but we still pull that boat across the jungle or whatever the hell Werner Herzog did.
It's like death staring at you when you look at a camera.
Love you guys so much. Hope you're having a good week. Thank God it's Wednesday. There's only one way to describe Wednesday, which is it's very similar to
a crystal flute.
Great. Hope you guys are having a good one. And remember,
I love you.
Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Oh, hey, guys.
Guess what? You're not even getting the whole show. If you want every episode and a whole bunch of other
subscribe on Patreon.
Subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. Just click the stupid little link below the video in the comments.
See, right there.
There you go. Click it, and that, yep. When you become a patron for as little as $2, you get the Tuesday, Thursday, patron-only episodes. You also get the weekly Book Oblega show where we talk about important books. The questions and comments thing where you can ask questions and make comments and all this crap.
All for less than the price of a rancid Charleston chew.
And for only 25 putrid little dollars,
You could become a producer.
that's right, support the show and get your name up here. Look at these people. Look at these people. It make the show possible, okay? God. I mean, without these beautiful people, this show goes straight into the dumpster. A rotten, just wet, disgusting dumpster, behind a restaurant. So there's old milk in there. That's where this show ends up without these people. Is that what you want? Okay, I guess it's what you want. I'll just leave. Nope, it's done. It's too late. Okay? Here we go. Here's the dump truck. Come to pick up the show. This is what would happen with no producers. Thank you.